Bangladesh going crazy. A lot of people out here dying in the streets because of protests, and they wanted and they have achieved their prime minister to resign. She has stepped down and she has also fled the country. Let's tune into the video and see what's going on out here in these streets.
Bangladesh is under a nationwide curfew and internet blackout after a weekend of violent clashes between security forces and protesters. Almost 300 people have died, with thousands more injured. The protests have grown into a national movement against Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and her increasingly autocratic rule. Ali Rogan has more.
In Bangladesh, protests over a government jobs policy ignited a broader movement against the country's longtime leader.
Yes, I want to step down Sheikh Hasina!
Protesters say Sheikh Hasina's violent crackdown is destroying her image and legacy tied to the birth of the nation itself.
We want the government to resign. We want to go back to the golden times we had in the past.
Student protests began in mid-July against a government workforce quota system which reserves some jobs for veterans of the country's 1971 War for Independence and their families. Hasina responded with violence, imposing an internet blackout and curfew, with security forces given an order to shoot on sight.
That's wild. So it was 300 people that died because the police is killing them out there on these streets. That's wild. That is some dictator stuff for sure. For sure. And that's insane to me. How could she possibly think that was a good thing to do? This is not good. This is bad. This is bad. Especially if the protesters are peaceful, but obviously it's gone way past that point at this moment in time. It's gone past that. But seriously, this is chaos. This is worse than Haiti. Real talk. Haiti was kind of like this earlier in the year with their protests. It seems like the whole world is just unhappy. It's chaotic. Let's continue.
The government reduced the quota after demonstrations began, but the protests had already expanded to calls for justice for those killed in the crackdown, a toll now exceeding 200.
They are killing people indiscriminately. People are being jailed. People are being tortured. At the same time, you are seeing the courage of the people of Bangladesh, who have decided they will not sit down, they will not go down without a fight.
Hasina and the quota system are part of Bangladesh's founding story. Her father was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led the fight for an independent Bengali state after the partition of British-ruled India in 1947. The Muslim-majority areas became East and West Pakistan, but the Bengali-speaking East Pakistanis faced exploitation and marginalization from the West. Mujib helped found the Bengali nationalist Awami League, which fought for independence at the polls and eventually in a bloody war against West Pakistan. In the war's 9 months, about 3 million people were killed and millions more displaced. Mujib became independent Bangladesh's first prime minister and put the quota system in place as a reward for Bangladesh's freedom fighters. He was assassinated in 1975, and Hasina positioned herself as his political and ideological successor.
People see her as a harbinger of democracy, the daughter of the father of the revolution.
Oh, so she wasn't even voted in or nothing? Yeah, she gotta go. She had to go. She can't. Nah, that's not how people like it. People want to be able to vote. People want to be able to choose the best option for the way they want to go as an entire community. And it's looking like this is not the way they want to go anymore. Clearly, she should have stepped down before she pulled any triggers or told the police or the army to shoot people down past a certain time. This is wild. This is wild. She was going to get killed. She was going to get assassinated too. This is insane. What is she doing?
And in 1991 actually gets elected to be the prime minister. And then she loses in 1996. And from 1996 to 2008, she continues to fight for democracy and gets a lot of support, a lot of goodwill.
Salil Tripathi is a writer and the author of a book on the Bangladesh War. He says after Hasina regained power, her commitment to democracy waned as she won 3 disputed elections in a row.
All of that has been accompanied by a period of serious human rights violations, an economic downturn, and this perception of nepotism and corruption.
He says most of the beneficiaries of the quota system were from the founding Awami League, excluding supporters of opposition parties.
The quota became the symptom, and now it has become full-scale opposition to her rule.
Since protests began, police have arrested at least 11,000 people.
Many were punished. After getting out from jail, they're showing the same face. They will not be spared easily.
One student protest leader said police abducted, sedated, and detained him for days.
I think they took us away to refrain us from making decisions about the movement while they massacred all these people. They made some of us disappear. Some were beaten. We were pressured to stop the movement.
Hasina stoked tensions when she referred to the protesters as Razakars, a wartime slur for supporters of the Pakistani military who fought the Bangladeshi freedom fighters.
The Razakars is the word she used on the 14th of July. And so the students started a protest saying that we are Razakars, you are Razakars, everyone is a Razakar, as a kind of, and campaign against it.
Wow, so they were pretty much calling them the enemy, even though they live there, they're citizens there, they're probably workers there, they're students there. That's insane. That's really, like, when you think about it, she had no right, no sense of humanity when you really think about it. For her to then say it's okay to do what she did, there's going to be a rebellious spirit around that. That's insane. That's insane.
And the protest just snowballed.
Now, international pressure is mounting. The United Nations and European Union are calling on the government to halt its attacks. The UN human rights chief wants the government to disclose details about the crackdown. But Tripathi says the number of crises spiraling elsewhere in the world is fracturing the world's attention.
On one hand, you have the conflict in Ukraine, then you have the conflict in the Middle East, in Gaza. The US is in the middle of its own election. The Venezuelan election has thrown, a rabbit out of the hat now. So I think there are lots of other priorities which are also distracting the international community.
We want justice!
Inside Bangladesh, the national reckoning persists.
People make mistakes. If she would have apologized, everything would go back to normal. If she cannot control it, things will keep getting heated.
As protesters continue to defy police in the streets, it's clear that for some, an apology is no longer enough.
Well, she stepped down and she left the country, so it don't look like she's going to be apologizing. It look like she's trying to live out the rest of her life in some other land. Good luck to y'all. I hope y'all the best. I really do. I hope that y'all get it together, and I hope that y'all have good candidates for the next prime minister of Bangladesh. Y'all are a huge, huge part of this world, so we definitely want to see you guys thrive. This is crazy. This is crazy. Give the people what they need, hear the people out on what they want, and try to make it happen, man. Try to make it happen. Let me know y'all thoughts about that down in the comments below.